And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? Coming to you live from training camp in my car where the audio is a little bit more controlled and no outside noises and people jumping into view and all that stuff. Fun practice as it just got done. Probably, I don't even think probably 100% the lightest practice of the entire training camp so far. Yesterday was the longest day. Team pads, all that stuff. Today, not even shoulder pads, not even girdles for some of the guys. A lot of, Debo got his first day off, but for the majority of practice, still a lot of polish, a lot of nice, teamwork, which was really, really cool. Ones versus ones, two versus twos, three versus threes, all this different stuff. So it was a very constructive day. Still got a lot of notes. The rotation was interesting. Probably the number one thing, man, you look at it, not Ricky Pearsall. We'll talk about him later. Dominique Pooney, fourth consecutive day with the ones. It seems like I don't think that it's Pooney's job to lose. I think they want Spencer Burford to be the guy there, but Spencer Burford's working out on the side, and he's working really, really hard. He's still got the cast on his hand and all that kind of stuff for the wrap. It might not be a full cast, but I'm just saying this. It's Dominique Pooney continues just to be as advertised. And a lot of camp, he's been opposite, Ben Barch. He's been opposite, or right next to Nick Sakel, all that stuff. Banks was back today. Brendo was back today. Colton McKivitz is back today. He's just on par with those guys. There's no doubt about it. So, whenever we're talking just about what he's capable of, he belongs. Will he start week one? I don't know. If Spencer Burford's healthy, this Shanahan era has just gone with Burford. Maybe a rotation. Maybe we could see that. But I'm telling you, Dominique Pooney is going to be playing somewhere on this offensive line this year. And I absolutely, absolutely love that. So, number one takeaway, again, I think I just want to kind of stay with that is just Dominique Pooney looks the part. He's just so consistently good. His anchor might be the best on the team outside of like Trent Williams. It's definitely better than Brindle, definitely better than Banks, which that's kind of Banks' biggest asset. Way better than Burford, way better than McKivitz. Like he just has that. And again, I was talking with Raj with our SF, who does a great job, had a really good time hanging out with him today. We were talking about like week one, you're playing Quentin Williams. So do you want to throw a rookie out there to Quentin Williams? Do you go with the vet? Do you rotate? What do you want to do there? Oh, man, a lot of questions there. Bobo, appreciate the super chat. He says, we'll have a top 3 offense and a top 5 defense this year. We had it last year, too. So I think it's very, very possible. The offense, when Brock Purdy's in there, is just calm, cool, collected, clean. It doesn't matter. Debo's out. Ayuk's out. Your starting wide receivers today were Chris Conley and Juwan Jennings. No issues. Juwan Jennings probably had the best day today, to be honest with you. I think he had 6+ first down catches. It didn't matter if he's with the ones, the twos. He's just a killer, man. Juwan Jennings has been great. He's looked really, really good. And Brock Purdy looked great, too, today, all day. There were a few times he held the ball a little too long, which I didn't like. But, he's working through things. Had one throw across his body, which is like the Brock Purdy, like, no. Yes. He's a fun guy. Now, defensive rotation, just a couple notes just with the starters. Seems to be more the same, except there was no DFF at practice today. He did not practice. So, finally, I know they're not listening to John Chapman, but I've been clamoring, like, please put D Winters in the Sam rotation. He hasn't even gotten a Sam snap this far up to camp. And so he finally got his work with the ones at the Sam spot, and it was awesome. He belongs. Almost got an interception late in team drills. D Winters is good, man. He is consistently good. So I love seeing that. Rotation everywhere else was pretty much the exact same. It was nice having Banks back at left guard. Now, first player's out at practice today. Same player every single day is first. Isaac Yadam. Work ethic. Just awesome. He is just it's a delight to see. Now, I do wonder, usually the first guy out is Talanoa Funga, but obviously he's not practicing with the ACL. I do wonder who would be out first if both of them were healthy, but I digress. Right after Yadam, Malik Mustafa, Mahoney, D. Winters, the first two offensive players came after a lot of defensive guys out. Colton McKivitz continued. He's putting in the work, guys. And Cody Schrader. Cody Schrader had a good day today. Now, no pads, so it's hard to evaluate a running back, but he looks the part. He really does look the part. Looks good. Guys I didn't see. No DFF. Darrell Luter Jr., Burford, and Jacob Cowing all worked out on the side. And I think almost, Burford's got the hand, and Luter and Cowan got hamstring issues, but they were sprinting. I think all three of those guys are very close to being back. Darrell Luter looks fine. Jacob Cowan was sprinting like crazy. And then besides them, you had Isaac Garendo, the rookie. He's not doing anything. He's got a hamstring too. Like, he's not jogging. He's not stretching. He's not running. He's doing his work inside somewhere where we can't see. He was just standing out there. So, anybody that thinks, how do I say this? Isaac Garendo ain't happening this year. I don't know what you do with that. Because, if he can't even jog and run right now, his hamstring's so bad, and Shanahan said his hamstring's way worse than everybody else's. What do you do with that? Is he just an automatic IR, kind of like Cameron Latu was last year? Now, the NFL rules are different. He can't go on the PUP because he didn't start on the PUP. So it's IR or active 53. Those are only two options. But the NFL rules changed where you have to predetermine now. So you could put, Isaac Grando on the IR and be done for the year, but he could never return this year. Or you could say, look, this is one of our 8 returnees, but you have to designate that before the 53-man is set. So the 49ers got some work to do. Do you just say, we're putting you on ice for a full year? Elijah Mitchell's going to be gone next year. The contract expires. You'll step in and compete then. We'll keep Cody Schrader up now. What do you do? I do think, again, sticking with the running back room, if somebody's being affected in a negative way, Isaac Grando getting no play time, can't even jog out there, Cody Schrader has elevated and passed Patrick Taylor Jr., which you love to see. It sucks for Patrick Taylor Jr. He had a drop today. Patrick Taylor did. And Cody Schrader just seems to be inching his way up. Now, there's a clear demarcation between the top 3 and the bottom 3 guys. But CMC was out there practicing today, no team drills. Elijah Mitchell wasn't out there today, got a rest day. At least I hope it's a rest day. Jordan Mason took all the ones, and he looked good. Did have his first drop, and he was mad. Went down, punched the ground. Wasn't the ground's fault that he dropped it. It was a perfect pass. He did also have 2 to 3 receptions that, just look good. He looks smooth on routes, which is different. But yeah, Isaac Garando, that's probably one of the worst news days, is just I don't see how he makes this roster except for on IR. And the question then is he just done for the year? Or do you want to bring him back in November and have that option? You have to predetermine that. I don't like that. And that even complicates, everybody every year is like, man, we're deep in the running back room. We could trade Elijah Mitchell. We could trade Jordan Mason. We could trade these guys. If Isaac Grando throws a huge wrench in that, because if you're counting him out for the year, you don't have insane running back depth anymore. You got your 3. Kyle Shanahan's not going into the season with 2 running backs he trusts. You're not trading Mason. You're not trading those guys. It's just not going to happen. So that's a little bit of an issue for me. I really wish we knew the severity of that injury and what they're trying to do with them. But tomorrow's the day off for the 49ers. I'll be back out here on Tuesday. Maybe we see a little bit of a bump. Maybe we see, we get some updates on Isaac Grando, but that's something to watch, not just for Isaac Grando's sake, but if he's out, you're not trading a running back. And that does make Cody Schrader, he gets that extra life and all that stuff. So I like that. RTP, my man. Appreciate you, buddy. I came by a ticket late. I wish I could have got you a ticket out here today. Apologies. Matthew, he has been, freaking the man. He says, another day at camp, more questions answered, minimal injuries. There was one scare today, and it was light. Ronnie Bell's been awesome. Contested catch extravaganza. Climbs up, goes as high as he can, climbs the ladder, makes a catch, comes down, lands right on his shoulder. Made the catch, first off. Incredible catching team. but he stayed down for a good 5-6 counts, and you could see he was favoring his shoulder, and it was like, no, he's having a good camp. A lot of contested catches. Is he going to come in? He walks out a team. Ronnie Bell does. We don't see him anymore of that team period. I'm like, dang it. Then they go to special teams individual. He's back there returning punts, look great. They do another team segment later, not one, but another 2 contested catches. Like Ronnie Bell has completely, we spend all this time working on draft profiles and scouting reports, and this is what they can do, can't do. He was the worst contested catch player in the history of the NCAA almost at Michigan. Terrible. He had like a 12% contested catch rate. Fast forward 2 years, I guarantee you the 49ers said, you got to work on this. He's like the best contested catch player we have. It makes no sense. He had 4 contested catches today in one practice, and he came down hard on his shoulder. So props to Ronnie Bell. I don't ever want him returning a punt, but man, if the questions linger with the Ayuk situation, it gives room. It just creates more room. And, obviously you want the Ayuk stuff to work out, but I don't know who the last 2 wide receivers you keep are. Chris Conley is, in my personal opinion, the best wide receiver outside of the locks, right? So like Debo, Ayuk, Jennings, Pearsall, Cowing, those guys, whatever else. But if you're only keeping 5 to 6, Conley started today. He had 3 or 4 solid plays, perfect in the run game, plays all 3 wide receiver spots, great on special teams. He's the most physically talented player. He's the largest physical player. He's the fastest. Although, Conley would be my bet, and he's just the most he's just consistent. Bell, amazing contested catches. Trent Taylor, that's who I probably want to be our punt returner. Plus, he's had a great damn camp. He's been incredible. So, you add him into it, then Roddy Bell, there's just so many wide receivers, and it's just what do we do here? And plus Danny Gray, who finally got some work with the returners. I don't know what's taking them so long there, but whatever. Take that for what you want. What's up, Big Papa? Yeah, Shanahan loves him some vets. He always tries to sneak some people in, and he snuck Chris Conley in last year off the practice squad. I'm not sure you could do that now, especially with what he did in the Super Bowl. But we'll see how that plays out. Also interesting of note, Jair Brown, who's obviously starting safety, even if Hufanga comes back, 0 work in special teams. Again, you look at last year, 2 years ago, Talanoa Hufanga having an all-pro season, he's out there on all the special team stuff. This year, no special teams work for Jair Brown. So I think that's a testament to not only Jair Brown being awesome, but look, we're going to let everybody else try to compete for that stuff. We've got to have you, especially with Hufanga out. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. Let's talk a lot about Pearsall. My biggest questions is just his physicality. He's tough. He's brave. He'll take a big hit. I'm not saying any of those things. How is he versus contested physical coverage? That's a question mark. Goes out there today, and I think that he had his best practice of training camp today. I thought it was the cleanest. I thought he looked the most comfortable and confident. But guess what? There were no pads. And so if this is what, it's just man, come on. He was great today. I'll go through, he had a cheat motion early where you motion and then snap and go. Hit a dig route, was perfect. Purdy to him, it was just smooth. He had an awesome pass from Brandon Allen, who is your quarterback too, by the way. That continues to distance itself. It's Brock Purdy, Brandon Allen, then Joshua Dobbs. Even though Joshua Dobbs probably had the best pass of the day, it was incomplete. He was throwing on the move, and just freaking awesome pass right through Frank Darby's arms. But I think probably the best pass of the day. But anyway, back to Ricky Pearsall. He knows where to go, looks more comfortable than he has all year. He had a decent block on an end around. Ronnie Bell came back on an end around. He was taking the Debo role. Worked really, really good. Kind of chipped the defensive end and then worked to the linebacker. I really liked it. Got Demo on a comeback. So he was playing press man outside against Diamador Lenore, and Demo is with him, is kind of pressing the fade, shut it down. Option route came under, and Brock Purdy hit him perfectly. Nice catch. It was awesome. Then the next series, he's working with the twos, and it was the same situation against Isaac Yadam, I believe. And so he's pressing. He didn't beat his guy vertically, so he shut it down and tried to set the dig down. But BA threw it deep. And so it's an option route where if you're beating your guy vertically, you stay. And if you're not, then you come back. Where I was at, I was like, man, he probably should have stretched that vertically. And you could tell, like, they were both on the wrong page, looking at each other like, oh, no. Like, I did what I was supposed to do. They both did that. So I'm curious to see how Brian Greasy and Shanahan are going to treat that in camp. But it was interesting. But again, go back to Pearsall's tape. He's not the vertical threat. He was never asked to do that in the slot position. So there's just some work that needs to be done. What do we want you to do there? If you can press vertical, do you press vertical? Pearsall's comfortable closer to the quarterback. That's just who he is. Look at the catches, the circus catches, all that stuff. You don't have a lot of him just burning guys one-on-one deep. So can this adapt? And again, I still don't know where is Ricky Pearsall most comfortable at the wide receiver spot. I still don't think X is it. He had a great catch against Demo, which is incredible, but then he was off with the quarterback. Like slot and Z is kind of where that is. But if IU's not out there, you got to have somebody. Got to have somebody. Rock Yasin locked him up deep one play. It just was with him step for step. Quarterback looked the other way. So I thought Pearsall had a good day. I thought it was his best day. Nowhere near comfortable with Ricky Pearsall being a starting quarterback. Like I talked about all those other wide receivers. If I had to pick somebody to be out there right now, Pearsall's behind all of them. I would rather have Trent Taylor. I'd rather have Conley. I'd rather have Bell. I'd rather have Danny Gray. Right now, it's just the comfortability and just the more reps and all that. But that's nothing new. That's how the 49ers treat their entire roster. And I'm not saying that he's behind or whatever. It's just not, the comfortability's not there. It's just not there yet. So more reps, getting out there in the preseason, all those things. He looks the part. You can see the flashes with Ricky Pearsall. They're there. The shiftiness and all, like it's there. Hands there. Speed there. It's just, you don't have to throw him out there. That's the cool thing. It's not the 2020 Niners with Brandon Ayuk has to start, like, period. There's nobody else. Injuries and whatever else. It's not that. Ronnie Bell was great. Play of the day, I thought Bosa did a stunt inside, and it was awesome. Like, he just came scot-free. You know, the Jake Brendel went the wrong way or something. And so, I mean, he would have sacked Brock Purdy easily, just looped straight up the A-gap. And Brock goes to throw it, and Bosa realizes, like, he might hit me with his hand. And Bosa does this, like, weird turning somersault jump kneel to get out of the way of Purdy, which was awesome. And it was just the amount of veteran knowledge and just understanding of what this year is. Bosa, like, got this clean release, awesome stunt. It was perfect. But then, like, oh, crap, Brock Purdy is everything. Get the hell out of the way. And so, like, to see, you know, former defensive player of the year realize just, like, don't get anywhere near Brock Purdy. And, you know, Purdy just did a check down, would have been a sack. But it was just one of those things where it's just like, okay, this team starting to figure it out. And you're getting buy-in across everywhere. And it's just making sense. So today was a fun day. A lot of twos, a lot of 3 reps, 2s on 2s, 3s on 3s, which was cool. No problem with that. You know, Jared Kingston sticking with the rookies. He played both guard spots today. We've seen him get snaps at right tackle. He got some right guard snaps. He got some left guard snaps. He's all over the place there. So a fun day. I really enjoyed it. It was probably the largest day as far as fans go that were present, which sucks because it was the no pads and shortest practice probably of training camp so far. But yeah, so Rusty, 100%. We've got tomorrow, 49ers got off. Everybody gets a day off. Tuesday, I'll be back out here. Wednesday, Dwight Clark Day. Thursday, I'm flying out to Nashville. And so we'll be in Nashville hosting an event right before the game. So if you know anybody that's out there, probably going to be at PBR Live. We had another venue try to persuade us over there. I haven't finalized those details yet. Stay tuned. I'll post those all over social media. So if you're in Nashville and you want to hang out with 49ers fans right before the game, right there on Broadway, we'll be at one of those spots. So anyway, that's going to do it for us. Really appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, stay strong and faithful.